Let's begin with the problem of consciousness. Physicalism, within the philosophy of mind, is the idea that all aspects of human nature can be explained by physical means. In other words, physicalists are materialists and see nothing spiritual about the way humans are put together. Everything is explained through biology and chemical interactions. I see this type of explanation as being extremely reductionistic. Surely there is more to our makeup than chemicals interacting with each other to produce our experience of the world. If we are just physical beings, then what explains consciousness? The first answer is we are just physical beings, and that consciousness is a physical property. This theory holds that humans are simply biological entities composed of complex chemical reactions. There is nothing more to us than the assemblage of different biological systems that eventually decay. The second answer, following thinkers like Descartes and many other religious traditions, is that what is essential about us is our soul or mind, which is housed in a body. This theory holds that what is essential about us is our mind and soul, which somehow escapes death and lives on. The third answer to the problem of consciousness is known as panpsychism. This is the view that all is mind. Consciousness or mind, soul, psyche is a universal feature of all things. Again, it is clear that all life is aware. Ants, mosquitoes, sharks, apes, worms, electrons, and protons, etc. I will agree that all these things have an inner life that is unknown to me. But do these things have conscious awareness? Are they aware that they are aware? The question of consciousness, then, is the problem of what it means to be a self and what it means to be aware. Even plants have awareness. Think here of the sunflower, which turns throughout the day to get enough sunlight. How do you think this relates to the self and consciousness? The sunflower may respond to atmospheric conditions, but it cannot reflect on its awareness. Reflection on one's awareness is the second definition of consciousness. Humans are thought to possess a special type of consciousness. Only humans, the theory states, are aware that they are aware. Put into philosophical language, humans are aware of their awareness. Only a being with self-aware consciousness is aware of the future and for possibilities of transformation. This is one feature that makes human beings unique. As far as I know, the shark does not think, I'm done with this business of being a shark and being reduced to being Jaws. In films, zombies are presented with basic awareness, like plants. And like plants, zombies move towards that which nourishes them. As plants move towards the sun, zombies move towards living flesh. But here's the startling revelation. Most of the universe is zombie-esque in its composition and makeup. Most life does not reflect on its existence. It simply proceeds along its biological and chemical parameters, much like a virus. But such zombie life is without care and without concern. The claim is that humans have a life that can be lived in full awareness. And isn't full awareness the point of most spiritual practices? Most religions tell us that we are not aware at all. Buddhist enlightenment, for example, insists that we become aware that we are aware of what it means to be truly aware. This is simply not a play on words. This leads us to zombie tragedy. First, we have to realize that the word tragedy is misused. The word used in context means the artistic depictions of suffering on stage. These plays were staged in ancient Greece to help people cope with their lives and to help them come to terms with suffering. Tragedy refers to the depiction of suffering on stage or film, and this is important to remember. Here we have to examine the context in which the ancient Greek tragic sense of life arose. The defining thought of the ancient Greek tragic sense of life is given in the statement, "It is best that you were never born, and the second best thing is to die quickly." Various philosophical and psychological responses were given to this statement. Yes, life is full of suffering, but there are moments of happiness, joy, pleasure, etc. This tragic sense of life asks us to consider what lies at the foundation of our life itself. And one would think that after so many thousands of years of civilization, that suffering would not be so prevalent. Yet it is. So what accounts for this fact? Used as a philosophical concept, the word tragic and tragedy mean what is unforeseen. Something is tragic when you don't see it coming. Something happens out of the blue, without your knowledge, without you having done anything, without you having been guilty or at fault. The French theorist Paul Virilio is key here. He makes a distinction between the invention of X, Y, or Z and the accident that results from X, Y, and Z being invented. For example, the invention of the ship was already the invention of the shipwreck. The invention of the car was already the invention of the car accident. For Virilio, the accident is already within the invention. For him, humans are accident-producing beings that perpetuate their own suffering. Here I can provide you with my personal example. In 1997, I witnessed the exhumation of mass graves in Eastern Europe. This event led to my having PTSD, anxiety, and depression. From a philosophical perspective, the tragedy occurred for the innocent people who were murdered. But my going there after the fact was not tragic. I knew what I was doing, but I did not expect that I would be affected in the way I was. Tragedy in a philosophical sense is an extreme form of suffering that seems to be beyond an answer. In his Poetics, Aristotle showed that pity and fear motivate us to take action. We can look at an event, a disaster, or a pandemic, for example, and feel pity towards those who suffer. We can be fearful for ourselves and take precautions. Zombie films are a lens to show us what the human condition looks like for much of the human population. Life is full of suffering and sorrow. Perhaps the ultimate message of zombie films is that we must use our awareness to actually be aware and use our hope to put another way of living into action.